Hey everybody, welcome to Super Comic Fun Time. Space adventures to blow your mind. Superheroes swinging from vines. Gather round everyone because it's Super Comic Fun Time. I am your host, MapleBob23, and this is episode 3 of From the Pile, Starjammers. So this is from a pile of books. My first bundle I ever bought from Half Price Books. I bought it just before I was coming into the whole comic book thing again, and before I was doing any YouTube. And then I heard unpacking things was kind of a YouTube thing, so I decided to save my other stuff for that. And you know, the other thing about getting these big bundles of books that you don't know what's in it, for me, the real joy is when I don't know what's in it. When I open it up, it's cool sometimes. Or like this one was on the cover, it was one of the outsides, one of the bookends. And I did buy it. This book is from 1996. It's got the silver cover that Marvel was using to kind of fleece their fans at the time, the speculators. But this book is all new X-Men limited series. This is episode 1 of Starjammers from the pages of X-Men, and to me it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But let's examine it anyway, shall we? Everything's out of whack. Complimentary of kilter evil blackbird armies erupt without warning, take me as a hostage, then laugh even harder, and multiply, well die, you zombies, zit, invaders, die, because I have a secret weapon which is mightier than you, which cleans way down deep, more killer stuff than the number of one pad, blast you into the galaxy, and which in fact is this wicked little pad from Clearasil. So yeah, if you have trouble with acne, Clearasil seems to be the thing. And so we come to this page. I love the art in this book, and we'll get to the creators in a couple of pages when we get to the credits. But the story didn't make a whole lot of sense. You have kind of 3 groups, and this is from 1996. I don't know if you can see it there, or 1995, Volume 1. October, so I'm having a lot of October synchronicities for those of you who watched my previous video on the omnibus that I'll be showing you again. And I'm doing several videos today, but I'm not going to post them all today because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So I love this artwork. These guys are on a ship. They're chasing somebody. I think they're chasing Scott Summers' father, and I can't remember what his name is. I'd never really encountered him when I was reading books, but Scott Summers' dad is a Starjammer, and I've heard about it before. I just don't remember what the whole story is. The One of the problems with this book is not all of these people have English as their first language, and the dialogue was sometimes hard to read. So let's see. Flight systems on standby, guns heat up, and I'm like, yeah, it took me, like, the language barrier for this book is one of the things that kept me from enjoying the story. And like, I try to ask myself what the story is. So you have that's the Summers guy. These are the Shi'ar. I think these guys are chasing the Summers guy, and they all look kind of alike to me. Even though the artwork is cool, there isn't anything that kind of lets me know when we're changing scenes. It kind of all blends together for me. Everything looks kind of the same. And so, like, yeah, these guys are going to put up mines. I think they're trying to catch these guys. I'm not sure. And then here we go. I love this page. This is the credit page. So Warren Ellis is the writer. Carlos Pacheco is the pencil artist. And Cam Smith is the ink artist. And right here, Starjammers, Chris Claremont and Dave Cochran created them. So I love the artwork in this book, and this kept me interested throughout. And I did pick up the story a little bit. So so the Summers guy is like going to silent running. And the language was such a problem for me the first time I went through this book. I didn't even recognize that there was like some kind of reptoid alien here. It was hard for me to take in the artwork. This girl, one of the things this book really reminds me of is that TV show from the Sci-Fi Network, Farscape. This girl reminds me of the monochromatic girl from Farscape. I don't remember her name. But Farscape was kind of a fun show. I didn't watch it from the beginning. I came into it at some point later in the show, and so I never really learned the characters. Ben Browder, I think, was the name of the actor, and he ended up in one of the Stargate shows. In fact, I think he ended up on the main Stargate show after MacGyver left. So, and right now, like here, we got on this page, The Second Coming. Everything on here is kind of about when Len Wein and Chris Claremont and what was his name? Cockburn. David Cockburn? When they came up with the second Genesis, like it talks about how the X-Men were canceled at issue 66, and then they started kind of reprinting them just to keep the franchise in people's minds because they saw potential there. And so like right now I'm reading Second Genesis, the Epics collection, and I got that off of Amazon. The book I did my previous video on, the omnibus video, the swamp thing omnibus that's coming tomorrow. When I ordered that, I got a free digital comic, and it was the Epic Collection, which I really wanted. A couple of months ago, I really wanted to get back into the X-Men, but the old X-Men. I came in with the Dazzler. My first issue of the X-Men I bought because the Dazzler was on the cover. And everybody said Disco was dead by that point, so what's the point? But I just liked her. I was kind of in that right age. So yeah, so like the artwork again is great. The Shi'ar, I'm not that familiar with. This was a nice surprise. It's like, I guess there was a contest, and so you get this card. I guess it's like a Magic the Gathering card, only it's from Marvel Comics. So whoever had this comic book had left it in there, unless it came. This one didn't come in a poly bag, so. But yeah, I kind of thought that was a nice little surprise to find inside. And so, yeah, again, I don't know what the story is. It's like, here we are with the Shi'ar again. There's some group that's destroying planets. And so you've got the Summers people and you've got the Shi'ar people, and they're possibly chasing each other. And then you get... The reason I brought up the X-Men Epics collection, so here they land on the planet. They have some people in the Kree refugees in their hull, and they're going to, like, come onto this planet and deliver them there. And again, it's great artwork. I love the artwork. And so I guess I have to be a little careful. I'm getting a lot of glare there. So let's move that. That might make it a little darker, but hopefully less glare. Exclusive, X-Files versus X-Men. So you know this was in the 90s because the X-Files was around then. And you know this is the 90s because the X-Files are back. I just saw a story how Season 11 will be Gillian Anderson's last season, and it's like, I thought her last season was like 11 years ago or something like that. So yeah, so then here he's talking to, like, there's some romantic relationship between Summers and the monochrome girl, and so like, yeah, so like she just destroyed a ship, and he said you could have just disabled their engines, and she says, you know, you're I love you, Chris Summers, so his name is Chris, but you stupid. Yeah, the language was really hard to get past. So then, like, we finally find out kind of what's going on. So there's these beings called the Uncreated, and they're destroying planets. We don't know why yet. It reminds me of Babylon 5, which at one point, I think this is too early for that storyline in Babylon 5, but the the Kosh people were destroying planets any place that the shadows had touched. And so this was kind of an interesting. Oh, look at this hack off. This must have been a game based on the movie Hackers. I guess that's supposed to be Angelina Jolie's character, but I think it's just a model that looks like her and not actually her. I really liked that movie in the day, and that's the first time I remember seeing Angelina Jolie, even though the movie itself was a little bit hokey, especially the ending was kind of hokey. So this was a confusing book. I liked it just the same. I liked the cover. I liked the surprise cards inside. So if you've read this in the day, let me know what you think. I think I want to track down the other 4 issues. This is a limited series. Maybe there's an omnibus out there that contains this, and I can get that and figure out what's going on. This cover is great. I just love that. So that's today's from the pile. I'm sorry I don't have much to say about it because it confused me. I love the art. I can tell there's a story there I would like. I just can't tell what the story is. I think this is part of my problem with the Age of Apocalypse is, yes, you can't always tell who which group is which. It's very ambiguous. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the point. So anyways, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and I've got a Planet Hulk video coming later in the week, and tomorrow I will be unboxing the Swamp Thing omnibus when it arrives. So love you guys, and thank you for your patronage.